Y'all, y'all. What is good, my people? Uh, I don't know why. I should totally chill out on making like a lot of videos and shit. But at the same time, the old YouTube channel had a lot of videos. So I want to kick this shit off with like, a bunch of videos. And so today, I was just like, fuck it. Yesterday I made like, a few videos, talking about like, being black, etc. Why a lot of niggas, act a certain way, and why a lot of niggas shouldn't act a certain way, and why it's very disrespectful and shit like that, whatnot, in our culture and whatnot. And a lot of that shit hit a lot of personal notes, so I had to bring up a lot of personal life stories. And so, it was just like, fuck it. Today, I'm gonna just tell y'all, some more stories about myself and like, the life that I lived, in 22 years. If you believe in God, that's a blessing. I'm agnostic. Really, I believe in something, you know what I mean? Every day I wake up, even though some days I don't feel like, it's worth it and it's a blessing it is. Every day I wake up and I get to see, my older brother. Every day I get to wake up and I hear from my other older brother, and every day I wake up to hear from my other older brother. I have a lot of siblings. But like, I'm talking about like my three main older brothers that I lived with my like entire life and shit, and like we all spaced out and stuff like that. Not really. Like I live with like one of them and stuff. But it's really good to like hear from them. You see me Mongo pushing. And it's like really good to hear from them. It was a point in time where we had one brother where we didn't hear from him for like an entire like years, dog. I remember like the last time I talked to my brother on the phone, I was like fucking 17, and like we just now started talking back frequently again, and I'm 22. And the last time I seen my brother with my own two eyes, like like not over the phone or anything, nigga, I was like I think 10 or 11. So it's been a long ass time. That's another story time for another day. But today I thought I'd tell y'all niggas about like for one, I was born and raised in Chicago. Shout out my mom. Shout out my dad. You know, uh, even though y'all might hate my dad out there, like a few later story times, over time, that's just another shit. I'm getting sidetracked. So I was born and raised in Chicago. My entire life, I lived like around the Upper North Side. Ain't gonna lie, it was like the bridge between like a suburb. I ain't even gonna dox myself fully, but like you get what I'm saying. So I grew up in like a very ethnic, diverse community, but it was like all European people. So these niggas was just racist as fuck to me growing up. Like I ain't gonna lie, dog. Gee, I got so many fucking stories. But today I wanted to center around some of the funny like stories that happened to me in school. So one, when I first started going to school out here, we had like racist ass teachers, very racist ass teachers. Like this one teacher, her name was Miss Zeman. Fuck that bitch. This bitch used to literally, like, if I sat with my hands flat on my desk like everyone else, she would run over to me and make me grab my hands and fold my hands up and make me put them on the like desk. Like, you know how like niggas sit down when they're making a deal on the desk. I'll flash the screen up like a picture of on the screen. She had me having my fucking fist like this on the desk, and like I would stand for the pledge of the allegiance and stuff like that, and like she would make sure that I was the first one to stand up, even though like I was already getting out my chair. She would run over and grab me and pick me up out of my chair and make me stand up. And like specifically one incident, this bitch pushed me, and like she pushed me when she was giving everybody their homeworks and shit like that, and I'm like, you pushed me. And she's like, if you think I pushed you, I'll call your parents about it and we can show them the cameras and shit. Mind you, G, this is another reason why I tell y'all niggas like my dad. I ain't gonna lie, G, my dad, love that man. Fortunate to know him sometimes. You know, sometimes when he popped around and shit, this the nigga was cool. But this nigga had like definitely a few eggs out of his basket missing. Um, yeah, you're like, wow, this man is just casually disrespecting his father, but talking about like, you know, in his other video why it's bad to disrespect the elders. Nigga, I'll tell y'all niggas the dad story time videos for like those are gonna be a fucking series, nigga. Okay, uh, luckily like me and my dad we on good terms now. You know, I talk to him and shit like that, so it's different. But like, you know, I still will like, you know, be like, yeah, I don't say this shit in front of him. But I have said this shit like in front of him before, like be like, damn man, this that, and the other, whatnot. Um, but basically, my dad and my mom walking, and you know, my mom trying to see the camera, cause like my mom, she always will believe her children, because she did not raise us to lie. And like, you know, lying is something I developed to do, and I have a bad habit of doing it. But my mom did not raise me to lie; she raised me to be honest, right? And so if I'm talking about a teacher is in the fucking school pushing me, she know the teacher is in the school pushing me. And like I want y'all to understand, y'all, my mom was like my hero, and she still is my hero to this day. I don't care what anybody say. Like, you know, my mom ain't here with us anymore, but like my mom is my hero, dog. You know, a lot of her problem solving skills. Whew, let me stop. A lot of her like problem solving skills and stuff like that, I inherited. And like, you know, I also inherited like, you know, my mom was always a kind person and stuff like that, and she always helped people and stuff like that. And so I always inherited that too. Like, you know, I may come off like a rash and rude person, but like a lot of people know me that like know me IRL shit. A lot of people that recently met me, you know, they say I'm a real positive person, and it's because that's literally my mom, bro. Like my mom, gee, I got story times about my mom, dog. Like, ooh, let me stop. I'm crying and shit. And I'm supposed to be telling y'all stories about my teachers and stuff like that. Whew. We cool. We cool. We cool. We cool. Fuck cancer, man. I hate that shit. You know, that's another. Oh, we cool. We cool. We cool. We cool. Shit, I'm gonna have to cut this shit out the video, Loki. Damn. Uh, but we had this one teacher. Her name is Miss Zeman and whatnot, and like, you know, she pushed me and stuff, and like my mom was trying to see the footage, and my dad just took the lady's word for it, and I'll never forget this shit, dog. My mom walking with me, and she like, don't worry, Warren, I believe you, whatnot. I know she pushed you. And my dad like, nah, he lying, bro. Bro, fuck my dad. I ain't gonna lie, bro. My dad, ooh, y'all finna see why I say fuck my dad. G, my dad took me home after making me like run home from school. Cause like I used to live a straight shot from the school. Like that ass, if I hop out the front of my house and I look like straight down the street, I see the school that I used to go to. Um, and so like I make it home. My dad take me into my bedroom and he started beating my ass, dog. Like my dad literally started beating my ass. And every time I fell on the ground, this nigga would make me stand up on my feet and start beating my ass again, dog. Gee, when my mom used to give me whoopings, she used to give me whoopings. When my dad used to beat me, bro, my dad used to beat the shit out of me, bro. That's why I be like, yo, you know, my dad, this, that, and the other and shit, like, you know what I mean? That's why when I be like, yo, you know, the way I talk about my dad and shit like that, that's why, dog. Um, Another funny story is one day this bitch Miss Zeman, uh, I walked up to the classroom teacher and I was like, Miss Zeman, I gotta pee. And she's like, pee on yourself. And this was right after that incident when my dad beat my ass for like, you know, telling the truth. So I went back to my desk, sat down at my desk, and I was like, all right. and I started pissing on myself. Nigga, I started pissing on myself, dog. Right? And then she's like, why does it smell like pee in here? And somebody pointed out that I peed on myself. And, you know, she's like, she walks up to me and she's like, next time you have to pee, tell me. Now, me as an adult, I'm in my head like, bitch, I did. But I already knew. My mom taught me how to use the fucking bathroom, dog. My mom taught me how to raise my hand and ask to use the toilet. And my mom paid a lot for those khaki pants, so she knew if I had any accidents on purpose, whatnot, accident, shit, think you still getting in trouble, whatnot. But you know, I'm coming home, and my mom instantly see like, you know, my pants wet and stuff, and she's like, "Why your pants wet?" And I'm like, "Ma, the teacher told me to pee on myself, so I did." And I shit you not, G. Like my mom, the very next, like I want to say 2 weeks, I was going to a different school, cause like the school in the neighborhood that I went to was dead ass racist as fuck, dog. That I ain't even tell y'all about the kindergarten teachers asking me about my clothes that I was wearing and asking if they were gang affiliated. Nigga, I had teachers, I had classmates telling me that I was dirty because I was black. I had teachers telling me I didn't deserve to be going to field trips, nigga. And this is just all just by being a black kid trying to get an education, dog. You know? And so, like, the one school I went to, I didn't live in the district, and it was called, like, Jordan and shit. And it was, like, right down the street from where my dad stayed. It was, like, off Howard. And, like, I started going there, and then my dad moved, and then they found out that, like, you know, I wasn't in the area anymore, so I got kicked out of that school. Pay attention to when I say I got kicked out, okay? Because this all comes into play later. So I got kicked out of that school. Um, when I went to that school, after I left that school, I went to back to Dirksen. But damn, self docs. I'm gonna beep that. I'm gonna beep that on the when I go back to record it. But I went back to the old school that I went to, and the the teacher that I had in the first grade wasn't there anymore. That bitch was gone. And like, you know, seeing as I left that that school in the middle of the school year, and I didn't finish out my school year at the other school, they held me back a year. So I had to redo the first grade again because I was moving from school to school. And in the first grade, whatnot, I went to I passed whatnot. Second grade, um, you know, I go to school. We have this weird ass, another racist ass teacher. Her name was like Miss Bravo. This bitch used to like dead ass hate me, dog. You know, I don't even like retain all of the information and shit like that. But like Miss Bravo would be like, you know what? Leave my classroom, and she would open up the door, and I would walk out. Um, and this shit would happen like every single day, dog. You know, and this was my homeroom teacher. And every time I used to come out of the classroom, there was this one lady, and she was black. Her name was Miss Means, and she used to always catch me. And she used to get my schoolwork from the teacher, and we used to sit down and do my schoolwork in the hallway. I thank God for that lady. That lady literally was like a saint. I'll never forget her showing me like, you know, like how to make a board and stuff like that. She understood that, like, you know, I came from like low income housing and stuff like that, and so I didn't have a lot of money, and she used to bring supplies for me to, like, you know, be able to like do my schoolwork and shit, like, you know, like for like the extra like art performances and stuff like that, like, you know, when you have to do the little shit where you have to make presentations and stuff, like you have to get the big ass cardboard boxes and shit like that. um and like, so one day Miss Bravo opens up the door and she's like, you know what, leave. So, you know, I leave, And like, when I used to walk around, I didn't see Miss Means. I would just roam the school to find her. Um, and I roamed into the gym and I started playing basketball because, like, I'm fucking, you know, just you're a little ass kid. Gym is your favorite fucking class. So like, I went to gym, and Miss Means catches me in there, and she's like, "Oh, you shooting some ball? Are you shooting some hoop?" And she let me shoot the ball around, and then the ball bounced up on the stage, dog. And this is where my life changed forever. The ball bounced up on the stage. I walked up on the stage to grab the ball, and Miss Means walked up the stairs to come with me. And she walked over my foot and fell down the stairs. And these racist ass people, like, I'll never forget it. It was two teachers. It was one teacher that was in there. Uh, she seen the whole incident that went down. Miss Means, I tell Miss Means I'm sorry. And she's like, I'm like, I'm sorry, Miss Means, I'm so sorry. And she's like, it's okay, cause she knew it was a fucking accident, right? Lady literally walked over my foot and fell, and they tried to say I pushed her down the stairs. Niggas tried to say I tripped her down the stairs. Niggas said another nigga said I tackled her down the stairs, dog. And all she did was just walk over my foot and like fell down the stairs, bro. And the school said I tripped her down the stairs. They wrote me up, suspended me, and kicked me out of the school. Prior to that, I went to another school called Swift, and my dad came up to the school and told the people that I didn't live in the area, and I got kicked out of that school. So I got kicked out of 3 schools on my record. And when that happens to you, you have to start going to like schools where like they try to see what the fuck is wrong with you. And nothing was wrong with me at all, dog. Like I'm telling y'all the stories, you know what I mean? Like, nigga, I'm telling y'all the stories, bro. Nothing was wrong with me at all. And I went to these schools where I'll never forget this shit. There was this place called Children Memorials. That's the children's hospital out here in Chicago. I went to school at a place across the street from it. It was called PHP. And it was this one lady there, and she swore like that I had ADHD and shit like that. And like, they didn't like, I never sat down for a psych evaluation ever in my entire life. Like the last time, well, no, I did when I was like 16, when I was living with my dad. That's another story for another day. But I never had a psych evaluation as a kid. This lady, she was kind of doing my case at the time. It was a lot going on. My parents was fighting over me with like court and shit. And this lady was like doing my case and shit, and like she had a lot of issues with my dad and stuff. And so she wrote down that I was like a bad genetics child, and I had ADHD, and I was violent. And like, I was like, the first day they saw me in the school, I was one of the nicest kids ever. I walked in there and I was saying hello to everyone. I didn't have no issue with y'all. And I'll never forget this shit, because this was like, I never used to see like black kids when I used to go to the white schools. Like it was only like a few of them. But like, I'm starting to see like a lot of motherfuckers like, black like me. And like, when I went to the other schools, that was like more in the city, I started to see a lot of people too and shit. And so like, every time I saw like black kids, I knew that the teachers were not gonna do me wrong, And so like, I was saying like, hey, how y'all doing? Whatnot. I'll never forget they had an air hockey table in this shit, bro. We watching How to Train Your Dragon every day in school and shit. But like the one thing I always knew was this shit always felt off. Like we were not learning anything, nigga. We were just there watching How to Train Your Dragon, doing like minuscule like fucking work that I did in kindergarten, and I'm sitting here like, what the fuck is going on? Nigga, they had me in a TARD class. They had me literally in the TARD class, bro. Like, that's wrong. I should not say that. But at the same time, like, you know what I mean? They had me in the class with all of the kids that were special and whatnot and shit. And like, they prescribed me Ritalin, and like, I grew up to like look up Ritalin and find out one of the side effects of Ritalin is that it makes you suicidal, right? And it makes you have like really bad anxiety. If you take Ritalin and you don't have ADHD, that's what's gonna happen to you. Like, You know what I mean? It makes you feel really fucking bad. You can have some really bad side effects of that shit. And I had those side effects really bad. Like that shit, dead ass. At first made me feel like, I smoke a lot of weed now. Made me feel like I was high as shit. And then the fucking suicidal thoughts came in, dog. I'm 6 years old talking about like I want to kill myself and shit because of these pills these people told me that I had to take. And like one thing I'll tell y'all is my mom and my brother, they knew that I did not need to take them pills. So when I came home, I was not taking those fucking pills and I was not thinking like that. But when I went to that school, bro, they was making me take them pills, niggas. I was flipping desks. I went from being the like normal, nice kid that like, everybody knew me as, when I first came in to getting in trouble because they started giving me Ritalin and shit like that. And then they, this is when I found out that like, a lot of schools and shit like this, the way of dealing with children when they lash out like that, especially if they have like mental disorders, is they throw them into like rooms and shit like that. And it's like rooms with like nothing in it. Like it's just four blue walls. Nigga, you're just thrown in like, I was thrown in like padded wall cells and shit now that I think about it, dog. And like, you just there, bro, and you there until you chill out. They got a camera in the corner and everything, nigga. I feel like I'm sitting here being spied on like a hamster. So I learned the routine is if you get in the fucking room, nigga, I would instantly de-escalate. Like, oh, y'all finna throw me in the room? No. I'm cool. Bet. All right, bet. They throw my ass in the room. They expect me to sit around and run around, lash out. Nigga, I would sit down in the corner and just started thinking, bro. And like the one things I used to think about the most when I was in those situations was like my mom and my brother, bro. Like dead ass, dog. I was just in the school just thinking like, man, I wonder what they doing at home. And then I like just close my eyes and take naps, bro. Like that shit is tough to think about as an adult because like, you a little ass kid blind to the situation, like, damn, I did not think that I'd be like crying telling y'all niggas like stories about school and shit like that. Like, like fuck, it's something different than like, me playing video games and shit like that. I'm just making a YouTube video, talking about like just shit, just life, bro. And like, after that, bro, I started going to alternative schools. Those places were some of the worst places on earth. Like y'all seen in the video when I was telling y'all about like, why it's not, y'all shouldn't really call these fucking, y'all shouldn't really distinguish like black people and then calling the ones that's outside shooting each other YNs, because at the end of the day, every fucking black person between the ages of 1 to 25 that is a male is a YN, bro. All it is just a young nigga. And y'all sitting out here making fun of young niggas that did not have a chance to get a proper education, that did not have a chance to do anything, that did not have a chance to be anything because these niggas would go to these alternative schools. And as y'all seen, dog, it was easy as fuck for me to search up my old classmates' names and find criminal records. And I went to schools that were made to prevent that shit, dog. Nigga, the first school I went to, they used to restrain us, and they only was supposed to restrain us when you was like a threat to somebody else or yourself, right? And like when they restrained you, nigga, they used to put you on desks, grab you by your arm, your wrist, and then you could touch the back of your head and feel your arm coming out your socket. Nigga, they would restrain you for talking. Nigga, they would restrain you for talking too much. Nigga, they would restrain you if you didn't act right. Like just in general. Nigga, they would restrain you if you didn't bring home your homework. Nigga, they would restrain us for everything. And then there was this one fat, ugly ass, mean bitch named Miss Wilson. She used to literally dead ass kick us and restrain us. And one day she restrained this one kid named Jamar, and she let the entire classroom come and kick and punch him in his fucking face. And that's where these YNs and these young niggas that y'all niggas like to say are violent and rash had to go to school. Do y'all understand why they're out here killing each other? Because these fucking schools that were made to like counteract the violent activities in their like brains and like, you know what I mean? And like help these kids be something and reintegrate, as they used to say, into normal schools. Nigga, none of the kids that I met, out of all of the kids that I seen when I went to alternative schools, nigga, I only seen one person reintegrate. And I went to, let's see, nigga, there was Near North Elementary, JCFS, fucking Lawrence Hall. Nigga, those are three. Out of the three, and then the PHP place, nigga, there was four. Four. Out of all four of them, I went to. First grade, second grade to fifth grade. I only seen one kid reintegrate. That's fucking crazy. Nigga, I like all of these kids that they were saying were violent and bad, dog, were not. Those schools were not doing their jobs. Nigga, I used to get into fights with a teacher that was bigger than me. Nigga, I'm 6'3". This nigga was 6'5". This nigga was as tall as my godbrother, and my godbrother used to play football. Nigga was buff. He was restraining us. This nigga restrained me one day and whispered in my ear, "Who's the little bitch now?" Grown ass man, grown ass 35-year-old man telling an 8-year-old kid that shit. That's where I went to school at. Every day, niggas was fighting each other. We want to sit down and learn? You can't. Niggas is fighting each other. Nigga, the teachers used to just let us fight each other. Nigga, I got stabbed with a thumbtack. I got threatened to be raped. Nigga, I watched the kid dead ass Spartan kick another kid in the chest in front of our gym teacher. And the other kid just got up and left the classroom, nigga. That is shit that I seen in my entire life, nigga. That's where I went to school at. That's where they send the kids that have behavior problems at. That's where we fund money into. That's where your taxpayer dollars are going. Them teachers did not give a shit about us. I had an older teacher bounce on my belly. Because I was a little bit chubby back then. I'll never forget this shit, G. This is a story I literally kept to myself. And I did not tell people until I just didn't tell people. But it always used to fuck with me. Nigga, when I was young, I used to always be petrified of mirrors. Because I found out about Bloody Mary and shit, right? And specifically, I used to hate mirrors when there was no lights on. And there was one kid in our bathroom, in our classroom. So I had to use this hallway bathroom that the teachers use. And it was on a timer with a light switch. And I was so fucking scared of this thing that did not exist that when that light switch went off, I ran out of the fucking bathroom with my pants down, my little pee swing and all that shit. And this teacher sees that shit. This old weird bitch, bro. And she's laughing at me. And she's like, "Ooh, I'm going to picture that later tonight." That's where I went to school at. Nigga, I wanted to, dead ass when I was younger, I wanted to be a marine biologist. I wanted to do a lot, dog. And all of this shit that I went through going to school just never made school, I don't know, it just never felt right. I went there, it felt I would learn. I got my high school diploma, but that shit felt it just always felt off to me, you know? And it was always because of these experiences that I had growing up, you know? This is true shit. This is real life. This. I ain't lying to nobody. I don't have no reason to lie. I ain't wolf. Like I don't. Nigga, it's just me. Session. OBS. And I'm just recording a video that I'm gonna edit and post. This shit went from me telling y'all niggas about me trying to fucking use the bathroom in school and the teacher telling me to piss on myself and me pissing on myself to shit. My teachers were pedophiles. My teachers were abusers. And they were meant to, nigga, I'll never forget this shit, bro. There was this one kid, his name was Rashawn. Nigga, me and Rashawn every day at the at near North, we used to fight. We went to JCFS, we were bros. Um, all of the teachers kind of felt like I was like, they knew that I was like normal and shit because I was the nigga to diffuse all of the situations in the classroom, and I always just had a natural not just to talk. Like I just love to talk. Shit. Ask anybody, I tell you, they called me Motor Mouth my entire life. Nigga, when I used to ride the bus, one of the greatest people that I met when I was going to these horrible places, his name was Mr. Eddie. Nigga, I want y'all to understand, I am not gang affiliated at all, right? At all. But like when you went to those schools, a lot of those kids that you went to school with were gang affiliated. And so just to bring this up, Mr. Eddie was able to bring two kids that were in different gangs. I think one of them was like a Latin King and the other one was like a Cobra. Don't know if those niggas beef. But those niggas used to hate each other for throwing those signs at each other, and they would fight each other every single day on the bus. And the Mexican niggas on the bus would start jumping each other too. It was some of the most funniest shit, G. These niggas, when we first went there, we had this one bus attendant. Her name was Brittany. She used to not be able to like keep us from like fighting each other and shit like that. I wasn't in the fights. I mean, I got into one fight because I was the only black nigga on the bus, and I was riding on the bus with a bunch of Mexican kids in inner city Chicago. If you don't know, that does not mix well. And so like, I'll never forget this shit, bro. We getting into a fight on the bus, nigga. I kicked my foot so hard, my fucking shoe slipped off, and the fucking shoe slipped up and hit the emergency exit on the bus. Like the shit you gotta climb out of on the ceiling. And she like, all right, now y'all stop it. And so, we all just used to like literally like, it's not like fighting like where we were trying to beat each other's ass. It was just more or less us fucking horsing around and shit. I'll be mad real. We just used to literally just dead ass. It was not that I look at it. It was just literally us just fucking beating the shit out of each other. But it was just because we was on the bus. And a lot of these niggas did hate each other and shit like that. And this nigga, Mr. Eddie, who I felt like should have been a damn teacher at this school, was able by the end of the school year to get an entire bus full of kids that fought each other to fight for each other. I'll never forget that shit, bro. They was like, hey, yo, he was like, if y'all see one of them getting into any issues in the school, y'all help him. Y'all help him out. Nigga, this shit still, like, to this day kind of make me tear up and sad. But like towards the end of the school year, when all of the ones that were in like 8th grade and shit went to high school, and they like had to go to a different school facility, they was like, yo, Warren, bro, we won't be able to look out for you like that anymore, G. So you gonna have to be able to look out for yourself now. You know what I mean? All three of y'all. It was just the three of us. And every single day until that school closed down, that's exactly what we did. We held that shit down, bro. I'll never forget them people, man. Shout out Jose. Shout out Alexis. I forgot I think the other dude's name was Angel. Shout out all three of them, bro. Y'all were like dead ass real ones. And yeah, nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That shit was mesmerizing that he was not a teacher, dog. Cause that was the one person that was overqualified as fuck to deal with us. I feel like if Mr. Eddie was our if Mr. E was our fucking homeroom teacher, I would not be able to look up my classmates and find mugshots. I would know more than one kids that reintegrated. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure the high school kids, they went to normal high schools after that shit. Low key. Wonder why. But yeah, like, nigga, that was literally like the pipeline of my education, dog. There's like more to it. Like, after I got, like, fucking stabbed in the school, my mom did not want me to go to that alternative school anymore, so she sent me to a charter school. And the charter school people, they got my school record, and they saw that I went to alternative schools, and, like, it's a charter school, so it's uppity as shit. And, like, all of the teachers just felt like, I did not deserve to be there. So they used to lie and say that I was, like, pushing them and shit like that. Never put my hands on a teacher in those schools. Because I want y'all to understand that a teacher walked over my foot and fell down the stairs. And that's how my entire life got fucked up, bro. So why in the fuck would I, if I went to a normal school, push another teacher, right? There was this one kid named Charlie. He used to always bully me and shit like that. And, like, specifically one day he started talking about my mom. And I never put my hands on Charlie. Never did. But, like, the one day he did, I was like, you a bitch. And then the teacher heard that. And then she was like, uh-oh, whatnot, it's about to go down. And so she got in between us and whatnot. And, like, I ended up going to the office, and I ended up not going to that school anymore. True as shit. And, like, at the same time, I realized that it was wrong for me to say you a bitch and shit like that to him. But, like, listen, dog, I went to alternative schools from the 2nd grade to the 5th grade. If somebody started talking shit to you, that literally means, hey, bro, it's time for me to defend myself because I might get hurt. It's a defensive mechanism for me to call you a bitch, bro, because, like, at the end of the day, if I ain't gonna say nothing, bro, somebody else gonna try that shit later. And then 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, all the way up to my sophomore year, I was homeschooled by my mom. My mom, that's what I mean by, like, literally when I started crying at the start of the video and I said my mom was my hero, bro. My mom, shit, we was going through all of this stuff and just trying to send me to school, bro. And, like, my mom, she made sure that I got my education, and that's why I got my high school diploma when she passed away. And it hurt me to this day, dog, that she couldn't see it, bro. Like, that shit hurt, bro. You don't understand, dog. That shit hurt. We went through all this shit, and she couldn't see it, bro. But, like, at the end of the day, she did. You know? That's why, like, I get really defensive when people say, like, oh, bro, you retarded and you slow and shit. No, I'm not, dog. I went to school with the slow kids and the retarded kids, bro. Nah, I'm not one of them, bro. I'm just literally, I'm just confused, nigga. Like, there's just, I'm literally just confused, nigga. I was just confused, dog. Like, dead ass, bro. Shit, you literally, if nigga, that's why, nigga, if a pigeon flies with doves, bro, the pigeon don't coo no more. And so, I was a dove flying with pigeons, bro, so I was cooing. You know? And that's literally like that. I was just literally acting like everybody around me because that's what everybody did, and that's kind of what worked, bro. But yeah, y'all, man, I dead ass think like this video that I was making was finna get like emotional to where I cried like a few points, man. Like, I'm playing Session, bro. This is like literally like one of my comfort games, G. Like, I play a lot of skateboarding games and shit. Cause, like, I always loved skateboarding and stuff like that. I just always loved skateboarding, bro, because skateboarding was always like the coolest shit to me because it was just always rebellious as shit, and it always just embraced the rebellious spirit, and, like, You know, I ain't gonna lie, I always had like a rebellious spirit in me. Like, you know, that shit, that's that undying will to die. Like shit, nigga, I was mad suicidal when I was 16 years old. And the only reason why I ain't do it was because the voices in my head that was like, you ain't nothing, you worthless, nigga. Nah, nigga, I survived all of this shit, bro. Even though my dad didn't give a shit about me and shit like that when I was going through that shit, bro, I still survived it and shit, you know? And so, like, yeah, skateboarding is cool. Anyway, if anybody call me a bitch in the comment section, nigga, I'll send my dog to your crib with a C4 bomb strapped to its chest. Like, comment and like subscribe or some shit. I don't know. This video weird as fucking emotional, and I cried a few points and like, you know, crying is for bitches and shit. You know. All right, peace.